Ohayo.
Welcome to the So Japanese podcast, the podcast about all things Japan from a
Japanese
and foreign perspective. We are your hosts. My name is John.
My name is Ryusuke.
Thank you for joining us again.
ありがとうございます。
Before we get started, we mentioned it last episode, but we'll do it again. So we will be uploading just one episode per week starting in October on Thursdays.
Yep.
Just so we can focus on life things more, and hopefully with that we can also improve the quality of each episode too.
Yep.
But it's not a forever thing. Eventually we do want to go back to 2 episodes a week.
Yeah, like these days we're kind of busy for our life things, so we just want to focus on our time too. So
Exactly.
But we don't want to stop, that's why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a weird time just because we're getting all these new listeners. But I mean, we have a lot of old episodes.
Yep.
So new listeners, wherever you guys started, you can always go back to the first one and listen to
This
it
is the time.
Yeah. And I think what's good about our podcast as well, it's not like you have to listen to the first one to understand the second one. You can just jump around, right?
Yep.
It's random. So if you skip over some, you can go back to those.
Yep.
And another thing, just to let you guys know again, it is awkward for us to mention it, but we need to. So we have a Buy Me a Coffee account. The link is in our podcast description, as well as our link tree. So if you go to that link, you can buy us coffees. So pretty much give us money to buy coffee. But instead of coffee, we're going to buy equipment to upgrade our setup.
Yeah.
And as usual, like, follow, subscribe, give us 5 stars wherever you listen to the podcast. That would be appreciated.
Hi.
So, like I said, we've been getting a lot of new listeners. So this podcast is kind of to let new and old listeners know, I guess, where we're coming from, like our perspective, just to give you guys some insight about what we feel about Japan. Yeah, we're just going to pretty much talk about Japan.
Yep.
And answer some listener questions.
Yep.
And then we'll have a street level Japanese segment at the end.
お願いします。
So,
Yeah, let's start it.
what we really think about Japan. Off the top of my head, what's the best thing about Japan to you?
The best things about Japan for me, it's food. And I'll say it's my home country, so the atmosphere and everything. Yeah.
Sounds like, do you miss Japan?
Yeah, I miss Japan all the time.
Yeah, every day you think about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though I abroad here for over 15 years now.
Yeah.
So I think because of I don't live in Japan more, I miss Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah.
When you went back in May? In May?
Yeah.
Did you feel like you wanted to move back permanently, or were you happy to like come back here?
Actually, this time, first time I felt, I might want to live in Japan at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe because, there's so many emotional feeling too because of my parents, my family, my friend.
Everyone's getting old.
Everyone getting old,
There's
including
kids.
me.
Yeah.
I have a niece and nephew. They grow up so much. I missed the time they are like a little because I haven't been there for 5 years. So like 5 years for kids, it's a lot.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, I miss all those things, and yeah, I felt like, oh, I wish I can be there more often.
Yeah. Is there like a rough timeline in your head where you want to move back to Japan?
Well, it's not soon anyway. I hope, like, I guess like everybody think, but when I retire,
okay,
I hope I can be there. But if things are doing well or going well,
over there or here?
Over there.
Yeah, right.
And over here too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's the thing. Hopefully by that time, 20, 30 years, things have progressed enough in Japan, right?
Yeah. What about you? What's the best things about Japan to you? Because
food for sure.
Yeah.
Food for sure. It's worth it. I feel like the food, right? It's not crazy expensive, but if it is, it's worth it. There's value there, right?
Yeah.
And everything is super good. I love how clean it is.
That's true. Yeah.
Right? Like it's not something you have to worry about. Like for example, if you were to just even travel to like a more third world country or a country that might not be as clean, it's like a worry. It's something that you think about, right? Like I lived in Thailand for a long time.
Yeah.
And like the cleanliness standard is like different, right? I think tropical countries is a bit different too.
That's
like,
true.
In general, I mean, it's fine, but I feel like in Japan, there's like no worries about that. Timing of things.
Yeah.
I think we're both the same in that aspect where being on time is like a sign of respect.
Yeah.
Right. I hate being late. And in Japan, they care about time. What else? And just how like different it is. Different or weird, unique. Like going to Japan is like, I feel like it's not another country. It's like another planet. Right? Like it's just so different.
To me, Japan is like amusement park.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a good way. That's a
yeah. Because there's so many things going on, and there's so many things you can do, and even like fashion. I like fashion. So like buying clothes, even wear the outfit in Japan compared to here, it's different.
Yes.
Because like over there, you always like, for me, I always want to wear like nice, how to say, like no fun. It doesn't have to be fancy, but like for me, like I like the color.
Fashionable.
Exactly.
Different.
It is different. Yeah.
So like, would you say the fashion scene in Japan is so good because the need to be different is stronger there? For example, in Canada, everyone can be different. You're free to be different. You're free to not have to fit into a mold. But in Japan, that pressure to fit in the mold, everyone looks like a robot. I mean, you take the subway in the morning, it's like robots.
Yeah.
Right? All in suits.
Yeah.
They all, right? So the pressure to fit in that mold in Japan creates these subcultures.
Yeah.
And they're strong, right?
Yeah. On your private time.
Exactly.
Different.
Yeah.
And then, because when you walk in the street, like whatever you want to wear, it's kind of suit, like fit with all the other people. But sometimes here, if I wear like what I want to wear, I feel, it might be too much.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why? But in Japan, if it's too much here, I feel like in Japan, it's super too much.
But like, you can be too much in Japan because like everybody has their own style, and
So
it's
maybe over here, everyone is free to be too much, but there's still like a level of like normalcy.
Yeah, like for example, I see in Toronto, I see a lot of people wearing all black, like black shirt,
like me.
yeah, like black pants, black sneaker or shoes. Everything is black coordinate. But of course, like some of Japanese people, they wear that way.
Yeah.
But it's not like just sweatpants and you know, just a Parker. Like that's like more off day, like your day off. But like it's just because I think Japanese people loves fashion.
Yeah, I think Japan is like definitely a top 5 fashion city country.
Yeah,
in the world. Tokyo is. Yeah.
Like, that's why, and also like if you go shopping, there's so many different clothes too. So like you can get whatever you want. And sometimes when I'm wearing some clothing or whatever, or even hat, and walking on the street here in Toronto, and people start asking me like, "Oh, hey, I like your sneaker. I like your shirt. Where'd you get?" And then I always say like, "Oh, it's from Japan." And then they always say, like, "Oh, of course." You know what I mean? So yeah, like and that's also like, I guess in Japan it never happened. No one talked to you on the street.
Also because it's a shyer.
Yeah. So that
keep to themselves.
I don't like it. I like here. It's like, yeah, thank you for compliment. Yeah. But because also you can't get such a cool things in here. I mean, it's getting there now.
Yeah.
It's more, you know, everybody's import more cool stuff, and or even like the local artists making cool merchandise or design of, you know, t-shirts. So
there's definitely more unique clothing stores in Japan, and like small business artists, kind of like, I don't know, cool clothing stores. I feel like here it's too commercial, right? You have like the big stores, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, unless you want to go like high fashion, but other than that, Japan has way more options, clothing wise, right? What's the worst thing about Japan to you? I guess we can word it in a way where it's like, what don't you like? What about Japan is keeping you from moving there like tomorrow?
The work culture. That's definitely number one. Priority. So it's like a issue.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I was working in a restaurant industry, like hospitality. Even in here, hospitality industry is hard.
Yeah, it's long hours.
And then you don't make so much money. But in Japan, it's even worse. Like you work, obviously you have to work whole day, from morning till night.
Like minimum 12 hours.
Minimum.
Like if more like minimum 14.
Yeah. Or 16.
Yeah, 17 is not unheard of. It's in the restaurant industry, right?
And also
and 7 days probably.
Yeah, 6 to 7 days working, and then obviously there's no tip system, so you literally make okay money to live.
Japan has done a really good job in brainwashing to make people work for passion, or like to get better. We always commend Japan for their Kaizen mindset, but that also is kind of like a trick to make you work so long. Because you're trying to get better every day.
That means you have to work harder, And then you have
Right.
to always think, what can I do better? How can I work faster? Which is good.
Yeah.
But
that's the only, I feel like the money is not enough of a reward. Getting better is the reward. Right.
Yeah.
So then maybe in Japan, you might get more people who work in an industry or a craft that they really love. So if I know, I mean, of course, there's the salarymen and office workers that, you know, work the same amount of hours. But if I have to work 16 hours a day, I better do something I love.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Has to be.
So you get more like craftsmen that, or craftspeople that's why the handmade goods in Japan are so good, right? The quality is so good.
But also about working in Japan, it's just because like when you into the excuse me, when you start working in a Japanese community and they really think you're in a Japanese system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though you're a foreigner, sometimes, because one of my friends, she used to work in Japanese company and she didn't know the rule. So she, after 5 p.m.
She leaves right away?
Yeah.
Did she get fired the next day?
No. And then one of the coworker came to her and then they said like, just let you know, you can't leave till the boss leave. And then she was like, oh, sorry, I didn't know.
But maybe if she continued to leave at 5 o'clock, wherever it would have been normalized, more normal. That's the problem in Japan, right? No one wants to do something different.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So everyone is just going to maintain the status quo. It'll be the same forever unless people refuse to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, that's why the one restaurant I was working, it was lunchtime and dinner time. So I start working 10:30 and finish like midnight.
Okay.
It's already long hour.
Yeah.
If the lunch service wasn't that busy, we can get 3 to like 4:30, 1.5 hour break. But if it's busy, then we have to prep. So there's no time off.
Yeah.
Anyway, so after midnight, everything done. But that time, the boss, head chef, he loves to start prepping. Then
was it his restaurant?
No.
That's crazy.
No. It was
at least if it was his his own restaurant.
He was a head chef. That's it.
Okay, wow.
And I was still new, and everybody's done. Then everybody's waiting for him. So I was like, "What's going on here?
Yeah.
Can I leave? Because we have to come back 10:30 tomorrow. It's already midnight."
Yeah.
And then they say, "Oh no, like we need to wait for him." And it's like, so let's help him. And then they say, no, he doesn't need help.
So he just wants everyone to watch him?
Kind of. And I was like, this is crazy. Because like I'm tired. And then like, what is this time? I don't even make money now. And what I did was like, I got a part-time job after that work.
Did you really though? Or
I
did you just tell them?
No, I actually I applied this ramen restaurant. Because ramen restaurant open until like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
I was like, I rather make money than
Fair enough.
just staying here.
Yeah.
So I told them like, I'm gonna start working this ramen restaurant after here.
So I need to leave.
So can I leave?
How long were the cooks staying for watching the head chef prep?
I would say like until 1 or 1:30. But
literally doing nothing?
Nothing. Everybody's watching phone.
Oh, that's bullshit.
So it's like, I want to do this at home.
Yeah.
But honestly, what's the point? If I was the head chef, I'm going to tell them like, go home. I need to do this.
But yeah, if enough people would refuse to stay, because they know the efficiency probably drops after 5 anyway. I'm just kind of like pretending to work, right? I'm not working go, until waiting for my boss to leave. But if more and more people do it, then all the bosses can't say shit.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Because
Japan, again, I don't know. I don't have big hopes of Japan changing.
Well, that's why I asked them, like, you guys don't want to leave? And then they say, like, well, because we're like a family.
That's another brainwashing.
They brainwash that way. They start saying, you know what? Because we're seeing team more than family. Because we work long hours. So this is like a family too.
That's
but
a
like,
scam, man.
this is no fucking family.
Like,
so what? Like, if I
When's my birthday? When's my birthday?
Exactly. What's gonna happen? Like, can you buy my house?
exactly.
Something like that.
Can I live with you?
Yeah. And then after I get this, the second job, I heard the people were complaining about me.
That why isn't he staying?
Why he doesn't stay? Why it's so rude?
It's brainwashing, man. You know, like
definitely.
Everyone has drank the Kool-Aid, and I feel like if you're a bit different, you know. Yeah,
and I think I was always in that position anyway, and I mean I'm always following the rule if that
makes sense.
But if it's not, then like I'm not complaining in front of the face, but I always have this movement like, okay, then I'm gonna do something else.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the working situation. And also I don't really like the ages and we have to be polite, or if I don't be so polite and sometimes people are upset, or okay, that's okay, but like it's just take advantage because of their old. And I don't like that, you know,
because the culture.
Because the culture, if you're
respect.
If you're older than me even 1 year, and then like I need to be respect, which is if I think you're a good person, then I will respect, even though if you're younger than me, I'll still respect.
So do you think in Japan, because the age thing is such a big thing, people know that, oh, I'm older than you, then I can act rude, I can not care about your feelings because I'm older and you're going to do what I say and you're going to show me respect anyway. And I always trying to be polite anyway,
but I guess I don't know, like they don't like it or whatever, and
you
then
didn't
like,
bow deep enough.
right, or maybe I don't say so desu ne all the time, so like some people don't like it, and then a couple times I got in trouble with those people too, and I was like, come on, like honestly, if you want to tell me, just tell me. You know,
I think for me, it's kind of the same point where it's pretty much like most governments around the world are like that, but the people in power are fucking old. Right? So in Japan, it's worse because not only that you're old, I gotta respect you and listen to you, even though I know you're wrong. Or like you're just thinking of this like bullshit. But I'm gonna have to agree with you just because you're old, right? And with the politics of Japan, I feel like it's just the people in power are old men stuck in their ways, and they're making policies up that they're not gonna even have to live with because they're gonna be dead. You know what I mean? That is probably like, it's not progressive enough for me to live. Like, I thought about it last time we went before COVID to Japan. I was talking to my wife. It's like, do you think you could live in Japan? But it's too strict as well, right? But as a foreigner, I feel like I don't have to follow the things that you're talking about as much, right? Being polite, respecting age so much, right? So this, you know, I don't have to do that as much. Maybe I actually do. I'm not sure, but because I'm a foreigner, I also pretend like I don't care. But like, like the politics stuff, right? So like that abortion pill or the day after, the morning after pill in Japan, the news that's going on recently, where to get the morning after pill, to get a abortion pill, you need the consent of your partner. So both people need to sign off on the paper. And when you take it, you need to be monitored at a hospital for 24 hours. Right? Like that's not right.
Yeah.
Like not right. Where and like how it took like the birth control pill to be legal like in the late 90s, but it only took 6 months to get Viagra legal. So you can tell old men controlling because they care about Viagra, but they don't care about birth control. And there was that news story where a girlfriend and a boyfriend, the boyfriend refused to wear condoms, and they got pregnant, and he also refused to sign the paper to get an abortion. So I feel like men have too much power over there. Not progressive enough. And I don't know if that would ever change, right? As a tourist, I'd love to go to Japan. But to live there long term, like for the rest of my life, that's hard.
Because you work at the bar. How was it? Like, obviously, but because you're Asian.
I was also really young too, right?
Okay,
so
but
like,
you're Asian, and then but you're foreigner. I guess some customer, like at beginning.
Yeah, a lot of customers didn't know. They thought I was Japanese.
Okay.
And so
were they rude sometimes?
Oh no, it's because also Himeji is like a small town.
Okay, so it's a small
maybe in Tokyo, maybe I would get attitude from some like office workers coming in, old drunk guys, right? But I feel like the bar that I worked at, everyone knew everyone, and if like the owner of the bar would hire me, then I'm probably a good person. I'm not. There's only 3 bartenders, and if I come here, it was really low key that way. But living there, I was like 21 to 23, still very young. I haven't developed my own way of thinking. My morals haven't developed yet, right? Now being older, I know for me what's right and wrong. I don't know if I probably still would, just because I know it would be a short time, but maybe I wouldn't choose Japan to move to as my first country, right? I choose a country that weed is legalized. To me, if a country can legalize weed, to me it shows that the government is open-minded enough.
Oh, I see.
It's like a measuring stick for me, right?
Yeah, so Japan is definitely no open-minded.
Do you think it'll ever?
If ever
legalize weed, I mean, like as
I mean, yeah, it's gonna take for a while, and also I think
our lifetime.
I hope so, but US has to do first somehow, because like Japan always following after US. So
US is unique in a way where like I'm not sure how many states, but I want to say even half or of the states are legal.
Okay.
Right. But the government, the politics in the states is so weird. We're like, I'm in a state, it's legal. So like even abortion in the state, it's illegal. So to get one, I have to drive to the next state or something like that. Right.
Okay.
In the States, it's kind of weird.
Okay.
I would never want to move to a super conservative state. So you would go back there when you retire, when you don't have to work. Me, I don't know. It would have to like change. And also I feel like to live in Japan long term, eventually you do have to conform and drink the Kool-Aid a bit. You have to be open to that. If you want to live in Japan, then you should follow the rules, right?
Just
like how I can understand, that's why I can understand like the sumo wrestlers. If you are international and you want to be a sumo wrestler in Japan, then you gotta speak the language perfectly. You need to act Japanese culturally. I understand that, right? What are some things that you find easier in Canada compared to Japan?
Easier in Canada compared to Japan. Life balance.
Okay.
Like again, like it's kind of similar topic, but why I choose Canada, because I wanna feel that not so many pressure coming on my shoulder when I'm living there.
Your friends and family must think like, damn, this guy is like on vacation.
Maybe, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you feel any of your friends like envy you that you live here?
Yeah, actually, it wasn't this time, but last time I went back, I saw a couple of my friends, and then they work in a good corporate company, like big one. Like if I named it, everybody know. But I was shocked from one of my friend. He actually two. One was when I saw him and we were drinking, and he was like, "Oh, like I wanna visit you, but I can only get 9 days vacation day." And I was like, 9 days.
And you're gonna spend 2.5 days in travel. And 5 days dealing with jet lag.
Yeah. And then I was like, why? Because you're working in a big company.
Yeah.
You should be treated like the big company in the world. But he's like, no, because, like if I take more than 9 days and then everybody gonna judge me because no one take more than 9 days.
Yeah. It's brainwashing, man.
Yeah.
But if someone just needs to do it.
Exactly.
Right? Someone just needs to do it.
Yeah. And then other one was, he was kind of like, oh, I really envy you because you sounds like, and actually there, I met them in Toronto.
Oh, okay. So they know.
They know.
Yeah,
exactly.
They know
so that's also why. And then the other one was like, oh, I wish I can go back to Toronto and I live like you. And I was like, wow, but you make so much money now. You work in a big company. And he's like, I know. So I wish I gonna get fired.
Wow.
So then there's a reason I can travel.
Quit.
Right? It's not. So a lot of Japanese people, I think they're not deciding what they want from their heart. It's really depending on
society pressure dictate what you want to do in your life.
Yeah.
Because everyone in Japan should follow the same path, right? The thing is like Japan is not a third world country, or it's not a country lacking of opportunities where I can see if someone is from a country where they don't give passports, or like Canada doesn't grant visas to, or like the amount of money you make over there is like a couple of dollars a day type country where you don't have the opportunity to live abroad or move, right? Japan is a first world country. You make decent amount of money where internationally you're still okay. The Japanese passport is the best passport in the world. You can go to the most countries in the world visa free. But no one does it.
No one does it. It's just because, like I say, you can't get time off so often. And like I feel like there's a chain on your neck, or it's like there's always someone holding the chain. You're trying to go somewhere and then they're gonna pull you, and then oh shit, I can't.
So going back to your first thing you mentioned about fashion, so I guess that's why. That's the beauty, the flower that comes out of the dry dirt. The dry dirt being the pressures of Japan. And then at least from that, you get these really cool subcultures and otaku culture where people are so obsessed and so deep into certain things because they need that escape. Also, drugs are not legal there. So if there was more drug users, maybe
it's different too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The mindset's different, and but I feel like a lot of the otaku things I've watched on YouTube, and again, otaku doesn't necessarily mean like games and manga and anime. It could be anything.
Yeah.
But so salarymen, 14 hours a day, they make really good money, but they spend all of their pocket money, the money they make, into like things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather than experiences, because they won't leave. They won't not able to leave, so they can't buy experiences, but they can buy objects, right? Things, right? So I guess different strokes for different folks, right?
Yeah.
People live life coveting goods, and people live life trying to get experiences instead, right?
And also one more thing, what is easier in Canada than compared to Japan is like making new friend.
Yeah, okay.
With
so
the age I'm now, because I'm 38, I'm turning to 39. I think in Japan it's a little bit more difficult to get close because of we have to be polite each other, and then
in Japan, when you meet someone new, when is the age question asked?
That's a good question. Like, I think I kind like we can sense it.
Okay, but if you can't sense it,
and then I'm gonna be polite all the time. Like for example, one of my friends, we worked together after I came back from Canada first time. Actually, we are same age, but I still call him blah blah san. And then of course, like we've known each other for like over 10 years now, so like we're more like casual, but still
you show that respect, right?
Yeah, I use kind of keigo sometimes.
But if you meet someone new, like when is this question asked? Within the first 5 questions? Like, what's your name? And then how old are you?
I think so.
Right?
Yeah.
Or would it be how old are you? Or because then there's other ways to figure out someone's age without asking the age. Like, oh, where did you work before? Where did you go to school? You can kind of
trying to find out
like what kind of music you like, and like you can kind of get the clues to figure out the age. But in Japan, they'll just go straight up. How old are you, right? But in like over here,
it's kind of no question, no?
It's a no question, I would say. It's something I wouldn't feel comfortable asking, like, how old are you, until like many meetings. I feel like, right? I might get a sense of it.
Yeah,
I have friends I don't know how old they are.
Yeah,
right. I can generalize mid 30s, mid 20s, right? I can kind of guess, but probably since coming back from traveling, living abroad, most of my friends that I've met, I don't know how they are. I don't know how old they are. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter for me. But
exactly. But in Japan, you need to know, right?
Yeah, and I guess now I remember when I meet like Japanese people in here, like easily they ask like, how old are you? Also, the last time I was in Japan, I was shopping with my friend. Actually, this friend, like I always call him blah blah san. We're shopping together, clothing shopping. And then this staff, like shop staff, started talking to us. Like almost immediately, he was like, "How old are you?"
A staff member.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares?
I know, right? I know. How old are you? And it was
but it's just so ingrained, right? Like
it's just you
need to know how I should talk to you. How do I address you?
Exactly.
That kind of makes sense, I guess, because the language is so much like that that I do need to know. But if you so what? If you are younger, then I definitely don't have to use the polite formal Japanese then?
That's the thing, right?
So I'm going to talk to you differently?
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But some people, they do. And
because they feel like it's like a waste of effort or something?
I think. So like sometimes they start speaking in like polite way, like keigo. And like, 何歳ですか? And then if I was younger than him, and then, なんだ、年下か. I was like, okay, suddenly. Okay, now I need to be polite to you, but you can be like more bossy, you know?
So you say bossy, so you feel like attitude changes as well.
Especially those people, if
they care about it so much.
They change after they got how am I?
Is it amongst women? Is it as much of a thing as well? So is it like the whole country?
Yeah. I think so. But
because I'm picturing in my head like a fucking grumpy old man asking this question.
That for sure. Okay. But in Japan anyway, like you're not supposed to ask the female people age because it's rude.
Yeah.
But
so that's what I'm saying. So I guess how do you know I should talk to a female then? You know, is it this age question? Is it amongst males and males, or is it? So if your friend were to meet a female, would that be the first question as well? How old are you?
Employee?
No,
just a
employee
friend.
Or friend. Employee or friend.
Okay, if it's a employee, the funny things because Japanese, what's that? Resume. There's a age.
Yeah.
So we kind of know how.
No, I'm talking about like employee, as in like your friend. If that staff member was it a female or a male? That staff member?
It was male.
Okay, so if that staff member was a female, would he still ask the first question? How old are you?
Me?
No, your friend.
My friend?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay, so but you just said it was rude to ask.
It's rude.
Yeah.
But you know.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You are figuring out how old someone is. So I know how to talk to you, what kind of Japanese to use to you. So, but if I meet a female as a male, I don't know what Japanese because it's rude to.
And then, it's rude. So like you should just keep speaking in keigo.
Yeah, okay.
Or if you're friendly enough, and then like you're not gonna be rude, then you can be like friendly way to speak too, right? Yeah, but I always speak keigo or the other way around. Like in here, if I met Japanese people, I know they're younger than me for sure, but I always like, don't worry about keigo.
Oh, you have to tell them that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We're in Canada.
Yeah.
I don't care. And if you're rude anyway, I'm not gonna talk to you. So like either you're keigo or no keigo, it doesn't matter, And then like if you don't speak keigo, I believe in that we can be close.
Yeah, closer. Yeah,
closer, right?
The formalities don't get in the way.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. So you've been in Toronto for a long time. Are there many Japanese that have been here as long as you have?
You mean how long I stay?
Yeah. Would you say the community is small or big?
It's small.
Okay.
It's pretty small.
So you being here 15 years, you probably know all the other Japanese that have also been here for 15 years. Like the ones that come and go, student visas, working holiday, that doesn't count, right? But
yes, recently because I was, I was at one point I was a head chef at one restaurant, so like I think that gets more attention from other Japanese people, and then they start contacting me. Till then, I was kind of avoid contact with other Japanese people just because I have so many friends here anyway. So what's the point? I don't need to go to make a Japanese friend. I love speaking English better than Japanese. I love speaking Japanese too, but because I wanna improve my English, so it's better.
As you're getting older, do you feel like you want to connect more to Japanese people more?
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah. And then, I mean, even now, I kind of feel like, like this is the time I should think my mind, because like it was like my younger mindset, like, oh, I don't need any Japanese people. I just want to live by myself without Japanese community. But, you know, of course, like I wanna be in some great like event or new stuff.
I think it's quite natural for when people to get older, they try to find their community more. Yeah, right? It's kind of normal. For good or for bad, but
yeah. So what about you? Like, what's good, easier in Canada than
Japan?
Yeah.
What's easier?
Language,
but it would still go back to like politics and how progressive the mind is, right? Like here, it's not as sexist, not as ageist, right? Like I feel like here, people I meet, you know, you give out that vibe, right? And then you get that vibe back that generally we believe in the same things or on the same wavelength, right? But meeting people in Japan, that's why in Japan, I would say I met 3 really good friends, like enough where I would call them family.
Okay.
But for 2 years, 3 or 4, right? But only because I know we think the same. We have the same ideals. In Japan, it'd be harder to find people with like-minded.
Okay.
Right? It's way easier.
Because, I want to ask you, because you didn't speak Japanese at all, and you travel quite a lot. Was it easy for you? Because a lot of friends of mine living in here who visiting in Japan, they always say like people are nice, and like obviously like city are beautiful, but only thing they're always kind of they wish there was like the English sign, and like it's so difficult to
me, that's bullshit. Like I don't travel to speak English.
Okay.
Right. I don't travel to expect people to speak English. Why would I expect a Japanese person to speak English?
Okay.
I'm in fucking Japan.
Okay.
Right. So like I don't go and try to think that like the country should cater to me.
Oh, I see.
I'm in your country, so like, yeah, it's my problem that I don't speak Japanese, and in fact that I should show the respect and try to, right?
Okay.
So I learned the culture more, and the language I was able to get by, but I never felt that like, oh fuck, I really need to. If I really did feel that like the language barrier was too much, I would study. But I never felt like I needed to study. I studied like katakana just because I needed to work, right? Yeah. And I learned by conversation, but I never felt like, oh fuck, I need to hit the books because or else I can't live here. No.
But what about like the station or even like a map or
you memorize kanji?
Oh.
Also, I'm Chinese, right? So I'm not familiar with. I know how to write kanji, my name at least, right? So it's easier for me to recognize. It's not just like gibberish scribbles, right?
Okay.
But you make an effort in that way. Like, yeah, I don't know why people would expect to go to Japan and expect signs to be in English.
I see.
Right? Why? It's Japan, right?
Okay.
So, but again, I'm a traveler, right? So I have that mindset. I go to countries to enjoy their countries for them, not expecting them to. English is not even the number one spoken language in the world. Why would
Is it
Chinese or Spanish?
Spanish,
right? English might be even like after an Indian language, right? I'm not sure, but I think Spanish is up there, Mandarin is up there. But yeah, that to me, as a tourist maybe, but then you just be stuck to going to tourist spots, right?
Okay.
Maybe if I was, I didn't even live in Tokyo. If I lived in Tokyo or Osaka, maybe I wouldn't even have the urge to learn any Japanese at all, because you can get by. You can totally get by. But you make your effort, broken Japanese, broken English, right? You simplify your English, a lot of body language.
Yeah.
Right, a lot of pointing. This is the time, now it'd be so easy. I wouldn't know why people would complain at all. You can just use Google Translate.
But
right?
That time, back then, you don't have phone.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't have, like, we didn't have this technology yet.
Again, I didn't go there to expect. I went there knowing nothing, though. That's also a problem, right? If I went there, I didn't even know sumimasen.
Okay.
You know, I knew nothing, right? But maybe that was also a good point. Maybe that's why I liked it so much. I was a blank state. I didn't go in thinking, oh, not enough English, and maybe automatically I wouldn't like it as much, right? I went in blind. I went in like a baby.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's always good mindset to have it if you want to abroad other country, right? Yeah.
What's more difficult in Canada compared to Japan? I would say Japan is way more convenient for daily life things.
Okay. For example?
Convenience stores.
For sure.
I really miss. Yeah, go back to the first question. What are the good things about convenience stores?
Convenience store.
The quality of them, proper 24/7. They're everywhere.
Proper food.
Maybe like one of the only countries that have convenience stores like that, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think so for sure.
Yeah.
The quality of it. I mean, there's convenience stores open 24 hours here in North America, but there's nothing to eat except for that hot dog that was rolling around, getting dried up, or like packaged donuts, packaged sandwiches. But in terms of like bureaucracy, like getting government paperwork done, both countries suck.
Yeah. It's a government work.
Yeah.
So.
It just Thailand was really compared. Yeah. But yeah, that stuff. Yeah. How about you?
The difficult here compared to Japan. I think that it's not work balance, but how I work and other people work. Like at beginning, I feel so different because like, again, like Japanese people, we work like when we work, it's work.
Yeah.
Like we don't even talk so much. If we chit and chat, and the boss gonna point at you and then like, what the fuck are you talking? You come here to talk or like are you here to work? And because of that, or I don't know, to respect workers. Right now, I'm okay because I'm more understand.
Okay.
But back then, when I brought from Japan, like fresh, it was so hard because like, why people are not so serious?
So it was difficult, but not difficult anymore.
No, yeah, it was, yes.
So it's not difficult anymore. In fact, is it something you prefer? So work is easier. So give me another one then. Like now.
Right now, the difficult transportation.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't even
compare.
Yeah, it's it sucks.
Yeah.
It's like every year they raise the price, which is okay if they improve all the service and stuff. But over 10 years, service or no, nothing improving. And now in Toronto, TTC, every weekend they shut down.
There's closures, yes.
Closures, like this station through this station. And then I feel like, why?
Yeah.
Like, do you think weekend is everybody's off and then no one travel?
No one just stays home. Yeah.
Weekend is the day you need to have like better operation service, you know?
So what's more difficult is dealing with construction too.
Yes.
Because like construction here is so slow.
Yeah.
But it goes back to your work thing, right? Because again, it's way too easy. You get paid hourly. Everything is slow. But in Japan, I feel like you get paid more for the job. And when you work, it's serious. So shit gets done.
And then there's always timeline too.
Yeah.
But here,
the timeline can get pushed.
It seems like
nothing is a hard timeline.
Yeah. even like just today, I saw the news. The TTC is supposed to open one line. It's called Eglinton.
Yes.
They promised that they're gonna open this fall, which is already pushed.
Yeah.
And now they say we can't.
Of course. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You know, again, that's okay. But to me, the transportation is the face of this city.
Exactly.
Look at Japan.
When tourists come, that's the first thing they experience, right?
Look at Japan. Look at even
London.
New York, London, all the big city. How many subway trains? And then like, do they even ever close? There's a closure for like between this and this station?
Never. Going down.
Yeah. And I always thinking, why? Like, why then? Like, please give us the
You can't do
reason.
It's not even a 24-hour service.
Why can't you do that midnight? After the service?
Because work-life balance.
Exactly.
Right? So it's hard. It's a hard thing, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's something we would complain about in Japan. They work too hard. But then shit gets done. But here, you don't have to work hard. But shit doesn't get done.
Yeah. But like when I see that, like, so Toronto, there's a tram, which is we call streetcar.
Yeah, it's a
when I came here,
or on the ground.
first year, I have like morning time job. So I hop in streetcar like 6:30. I need to be there 7. Streetcar stop, not even the stop point suddenly, and then it's kind of packed. And then suddenly the driver get off, going to the coffee shop, buy a coffee, and coming back.
Classic.
It's like,
it's
okay,
so
you're on duty now.
Exactly. And people are relying to you to get to work on time.
Exactly.
Right.
But because of
you should have got your coffee before work.
Yeah.
Right?
Why you need to get the coffee right now? At least you can, like,
at the end of the line.
There's an end of that line. Why can't you stop?
Yeah, no, that's a normal occurrence here. I wonder if it's normal for other places around the world. Let us know, listeners.
I don't
if
think
when you're
so.
taking the public transportation, buses in particular or streetcars, in your city, do drivers stop like during the route to grab a coffee, go to the washroom?
Yeah, so that's definitely difficult to even understand for me.
Let's get to some listener questions.
Hi.
Okay, so we have a listener question here. Which 3 cities do you recommend I visit for a 2-week holiday?
Okay. Should I do first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. 3 cities for 2 weeks, right? Tokyo, for sure. Maybe you can have 1 week. And go to, Kyoto. Because it's kind of nice to see, like, all, like, architecture and obviously...
The old capital.
and because of it, you're in Kyoto, go to Osaka. And 2 weeks for Japan is you don't have enough time. So I recommend you 1 week in Tokyo, couple days in Kyoto, maybe 2 days, and then 4 days in Osaka. If you need to go back to Tokyo, and then that's the best way. And then use the Shinkansen and get the free, not free, but the JR pass, which is we have the episode about that, so you can find it.
Yeah, it's like it's only available to tourists and non-residents. You get, it's like super cheap. It's an all-you-can ride ticket. Like still expensive, I think.
If you think that money,
but super cheap compared to if you were to buy individual tickets. And it's all you can ride.
Yeah, and basically that JR pass, if you go twice, and then most likely you can pay it out, and then after
that'd be the same price anyway.
Yeah, all the
Tokyo,
ride
Osaka,
is free. Yeah.
And
you?
I would say the same cities. So this listener didn't mention whether or not it's the first time. So if it's the first time visiting Japan, that would be correct.
Yeah.
1 week Tokyo, and then the second week split your time between Kyoto and Osaka. But if it's not the first time, they already been to Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, where would you go? Kyushu.
Yeah.
If you like winter sports, up north, Hokkaido, I suppose, right? Depending what season you go.
Yeah.
But if it's not winter, would you bother with Hokkaido if this was your second time?
No, you can still go Hokkaido because even summer in Hokkaido is good too.
But you only have 2 weeks. Is it too far? Is it too far?
It's too far. And then you should go Okinawa.
Okay, exactly. So I guess it would be like maybe a 6 week total, 3 different trips. One Tokyo, Osaka, like middle country. Another one south, and another 2 weeks in the north. Right. So depending on what you like, the season you're gonna travel. If it's not your first time in Japan, focus on either the north or the south.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you like hot climate, go to the south.
Yeah.
If you like, yeah. That's good. Next question. What is the most nostalgic thing to you about Japan? I guess like living here. We both live here. You know, I don't feel like it's a problem, but we're doing a Japanese podcast about Japan in Toronto. So we live here. What are the things that like make you feel nostalgic thinking about Japan? Like in like an everyday thing. So maybe for me, for example, like if I think about Japan, like in everyday my life, I've spent so many hours on trains because of work, right? Sometimes I would have to like go far. So just seeing the landscape, seeing Japan, like the real Japan, not the big city, the lights, but just seeing the rice fields and the small houses and like that scenery, the hills, the mountains, that gives me that nostalgic feeling. Like to me, that is what I don't know, gives me the Japanese feeling. Just seeing, because it was so different also from what I expected. And also, I spent so many hours on trains. Yeah.
For me, I think it's a cherry blossom when I see them. Like,
because you see them here.
That's why. Like, when that time happening, I feel like, Japan. Like, I remember so much good memory, and especially like the April in Japan is the the new season start, so school start, and then the new job start, and also the weather, we know it's getting better, and the first warm weather with this like lightly pink trees everywhere in
it's arguably
in
the best weather, because summer it's too hot.
Exactly. That's also true.
Yeah, it's the best, right?
Yeah,
it's funny because like when during cherry blossom season here, people make a whole big deal about it as well, going to see the cherry blossoms, but you do think like, yo, this is nothing
compared to Japan.
Yeah, right, if you really want to see it, right?
Yeah, so I always feel that.
Another question.
Hi.
Last question actually. One thing you learned about Japan that you didn't know before doing the podcast.
Oh, one thing?
Okay, whatever. Yeah.
I would say the samurai episode.
Okay.
We record like we did the 10 unique things about samurai. What happened to samurai, and then like there was actually a lot of same-sex relationship happening. Because I don't know, I was just thinking like samurai's really like man. So, and
I think most ancient civilizations,
yes,
they did
it
that,
has,
right? The Greeks did that. Yeah, it's before it was normal. Yeah, but somehow I didn't think about that, and I was kind of like, wow. And so when a samurai era does exist, and then how come now we are not really open for pride and everything? Because the Christians came. That's why. Remember in the episode we learned that, right?
That's true.
In America, right?
Yeah.
Japan took the American mindset about it. Japan was totally fine with it.
I see.
Right?
Yeah.
Like not only totally fine with it, it was encouraged. Right? It was normal for it was normal to have same-sex relationships while also still being married, because I think for the samurai also being married was important, right? For like the lineage or whatever, right? But it was known that both whatever would still have same-sex relationships.
What about you?
It'd have to I don't even know just one, but it would have to be pretty much all of the history stuff. You know, for me, my knowledge base about Japan is more maybe a little bit of culture, like society things, right? Like people. I know nothing about history. I know nothing about the history of North America. I don't know history that much anyway. So doing the research for these episodes piqued an interest about history for me. Obviously, specifically Japanese history. But yeah, so it's like learning, right? But I'm enjoying it. Also, the language portions, you know, doing Japanglish and street level Japanese, those segments. Yeah, I know those words, but when we decide to do those words, like, you know, I'm always learning, right? We're researching for examples, researching more topics, different words. So learning about the language. I probably have learned more about the language now than I did living there. Right?
Yeah.
How about, okay, one last one, I suppose. What were our goals for the podcast when we started, and have the goals changed?
Okay.
So I guess we can answer that together.
Sure.
So when you, our goals when we started the podcast, we kind of had no expectations, no?
Yeah, so why we start podcast because of like I have no idea about podcasts, to be honest with you guys. But obviously after COVID hit, there's so many times for me, for him too. And then one day my girlfriend suggests me to listen some podcasts, like obviously know about Japan, like anything I'm interested in. And I was like, okay, what is podcast? And then I started listening, like couple people I would learn or know something. And then after I started listening podcasts, like couple other episodes, and I was like, this is so nice. Like I can get the information what I want to get. And after that, because me and John, we have a plan to do some other project. But then somehow it clicked in my head. It's like, hey, John, let's do podcast. Because I want to make sure as a Japanese and then with you.
But at that time, we didn't know what we should do a podcast about, right? It wasn't decided, right?
Yeah.
But whenever we met, no matter what we were meeting for, what we were doing, somehow we would just end up talking about Japan. Specifically, like how different the differences and similarities, but like the unique things about it, the strange things about it. So we're like, why force something to talk about, like start a podcast about, when naturally we always talk about Japan anyway. Right?
And because we're good friends, so we talk always, and then like even when it was COVID, like we meet like once in a while outside, of course. And yeah, and we started thinking about this, and we were like, we always talk about Japan. And then let's talk something about Japan. And then next one was like, so what's the name for our podcast? And I think we have a couple other plans.
Well, it would always come back to like we would talk about Japan and be like, yeah, that's so Japanese.
Exactly.
Something is so Japanese.
We say
that's
so many
Japanese,
times.
right? Like it would be the answer or the explanation for everything. Why is it like this? Oh, so Japanese, right?
Yeah, like just like
Right.
naturally we say this word like so Japanese.
Yeah.
So then like,
or like I'd make fun of him, like
Yeah.
how you're acting. Oh, that's so Japanese.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what
yeah,
you're
yeah.
thinking, right?
How people work or like
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So-
so Japanese. It came up organically, which I think is like the best way for things to come
for
out.
sure.
Yeah, we didn't have goals to like make money. Like we
No,
don't
no,
make
no,
we
no,
make
no,
zero
no.
money off of this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was definitely a COVID project that we hoped that like we didn't really we expected, some of our friends to listen, but that wasn't going to be a gauge on whether or not our podcast would be successful, and not all our friends care about Japan. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
We knew that it was probably going to be a niche, but we didn't know how niche or how strong this niche is. And then, we didn't have really any goals. It wasn't like, oh, I want like 5,000 listeners per episode.
No,
nothing like that, right?
Yeah.
It was just like,
it was
see
more,
what happens.
Yeah, and then more like for me, it was like, because there's so many non-Japanese people teaching or inform about Japan on social media any type of like internet stuff. And I was like, so why can't we do this? Because like John lives in Japan. Obviously I'm from Japan. And then because my broken English, it's not good enough to telling you guys everything, but because of we're team, like it's perfect. Like he can always collect my English or like to
also we're like really good friends. We've known each other many years before we worked together. So
he can understand what I want to say.
Yeah. And I've kind of like can adapt my thoughts and how I word them for you to understand them better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? More easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, yeah. We have no problems communicating. Sometimes like we'll throw some Japanese at each other, but it's like, slangy, right?
Exactly.
So that's, I guess that's how street level Japanese came about, right?
Yeah. That was really good idea.
So like, we didn't think, because there's a lot of podcasts out there teaching language, but we're not language teachers.
Exactly. And then like we wanna make something like we wanted to listen to.
Yeah, we wanted to create value.
Yeah.
But something that you guys would find valuable and something that we could feel comfortable doing, where you can trust us on, right? So I don't know formal Japanese, and like when I'm listening to gaijins or foreigners speaking Japanese, I always have thought like, this is not the Japanese like I listened to or I heard living there, like at the bar, you know, like,
because you know the real Japanese people how they talk.
This is, and like a lot of the language learning apps or TikTok accounts or Instagram accounts, like it's not Japanese that people actually use. I don't remember hearing this stuff. So we figured, why don't we do like something
more street level Japanese, which I always speak.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so it kind of just, and we never even thought about TikTok to begin with.
No, not
right?
Like just podcast.
Yeah, it was like just podcast, no social media.
Yeah.
Like no social media accounts type thing. And then organically, you know, we record ourselves talking anyway. Why don't we cut it and upload it and see what happens? So
so like
everything's come organically.
Yeah.
In terms of goals have changed, not really, like I
no I still want to make sure that you guys are happy to listen. Of course sometimes there's a negative the comment, and that's also good because like we're not perfect. And we
also
still
can't please everyone.
Yeah, and then we're still learning process too. But like it's like we're growing up with you guys, and then because of you guys, we have so much motivation to keep doing this.
I guess if a goal has changed or a goal has been created, is that maybe our goal now is to like create a street level Japanese, a so Japanese community.
Yeah.
Right. Definitely. We did start a Discord channel. We know nothing about how to use Discord. It was recommended to us by one of our listeners. We have started a Discord channel page. I don't even know how to call it.
Account.
We're really like super newbies on it.
Yeah, so
we're learning. We're definitely learning about it.
If someone can teach us, that's also great too.
And if you want to join the So Japanese Discord, the link is in our link tree.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess to create a community where everyone has the same interests and can help each other, give each other knowledge, teach each other. Like a lot of the videos we upload on TikTok and on Instagram, we don't have time or we miss certain comments or whatever, and then later we realize that other users or listeners or watchers or whatever have answered questions for us or helped other people that had questions. So that's what we want, you know, just create that community of like Japanophiles. I consider myself a Japanophile, right? I like all things Japan, good or bad. But yeah, so I guess that would be it, right?
Yeah.
Next
I
guess we will do our street level Japanese segment. We've been talking for a while, so
yeah,
we should maybe end it. So, street level Japanese segment today. Again, two very common words in Japan.
Useful.
Very useful. Again, things you won't find in textbooks. If you do find it in textbook, we would like to know, actually.
Yeah.
And any of these street level Japanese segments, if you find it in a textbook, let us know which textbook. Maybe like there is a textbook called Street Level Japanese.
Maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe.
All right. So
yeah.
The first word is
Ua.
Is a sound, right? Not really a word, but it's like wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's for, or like yikes even. It's for something that is, I don't know how you would say use wow for, maybe something extreme, positive or negative. So we'll have two examples, a positive one. It's summertime in Japan. They have fireworks festivals. The Japanese do fireworks super hardcore. You go to one, you watch the fireworks, you would say
うわ、すごい.
So, wow.
Great. Oh,
Ooh,
amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Nice.
Yep.
A more negative use for uwa. You went to the porta potty at a music festival.
うわ、汚な.
So, wow, so dirty, or yikes, or oh my God, gross, so dirty. Again, kitanai is dirty, slang, remove the I, kitana. We had one user, or listener on our TikTok, and this is how I learned the slang, because it's Kansai Ben. We would say kitane, right? And someone mentioned that I've heard ne instead of right? So umai, uma, but I was familiar with ume.
Ume. Yeah.
So I didn't know that you just drop the I for like regular Japanese. I just knew you change it to a sound. Yeah. But yeah, so Kansai Ben, instead of the I, it's like a sound.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so next word is
Samu.
Samu. Samu, slang for samui, which means cold. But in this usage, so it can mean cold, like temperature-wise. But you can also use this in response to a unfunny joke. Not like off-color funny.
No.
But more like stupid, unfunny, like dad jokes, for example, right? And because it's slang, you wouldn't say in response like samui. People would be like, it's cold? Right?
Yeah.
You say it the slang way.
Samu.
So, I'll tell a dad joke. What does a house wear? A dress. Address.
うわ、ジョンさん寒.
So, wow.
ジョンさん, oh my gosh.
Not funny.
No funny.
Yeah, that does it for today's episode. I hope you enjoy it. Part 2?
Yeah, I think so.
Right. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed both parts of this episode. I hope you guys also got to know us a bit better as well. See where we're coming from.
Yep.
In terms of the podcast, and also what we're about. I feel like this episode was more a conversational based one rather than like it's
topic.
Less of a topic educational. I'm not saying that like we're educating, but it's we didn't really have like a topic to follow, a guideline of what we want to share and perhaps teach. So let us know if you like more of these type of podcasts, we can do more of them. Or do you prefer like the more structured, we're trying to teach you something podcasts? So that does it for today's episode. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.
ありがとう。バイバイ。